The biggest sailboat manufacturer in the world has a new flagship, and it's pretty impressive. This is the new Beneteau Oceanis Yacht 60. Designers Roberto Biscontini and Lorenzo Argento have created a world of refinement in this 60-foot ocean cruising yacht. Starting out back behind the electrically operated fold-down swim deck, we get a tender garage. In the past, we've seen these where the rib goes in sideways and isn't really big enough to accommodate a 10-foot rib. Now, I say 10-foot rib because that's what most people seem to use, myself included. 10 feet is sort of the target for 3 people to ride in it comfortably, and the longer the rib, the better it seems to do in the chop when it's full of groceries or jerry cans. So I was excited to see that on this Oceanis 60, the rib goes in bow first. There are rollers, almost like a boat trailer, for the rib or rigid inflatable to slide right in forward into the bowels of the mothership. Very well thought out, but there is a catch. This cavity is not designed as a one-size-fits-all tender garage. It will only accommodate some tenders at 9 feet, not 10. It's designed for the Williams 280 jet rib, this guy, and having a jet rib is kind of a big decision, not just because it's kind of unique in the cruising world, we usually use outboards, but also because that rib is a $30,000 tender. You can fit other ribs in here with different deflation tactics and maneuvering, but the one that fits without issue is that 280 jet. Some food for your $30,000 thought there. As we pan over to see the dual rudders and admire their depth and grip, we note that this 17.22 foot wide, 62 foot long, 48,000 pound flagship comes with 2 keels. The standard 8.73 footer, or the slightly but still troublesome if you live in Florida, shoal version of 7.25 feet. This is a big boat with big boat appendages. Stepping up between the twin helms, we note the full display plotter and control packages on both helm stations with access to the ship station lock system and all the thrusters and electronic controls, so you can fully operate and mostly sail this boat from either of the helm stations while under the protection of the retractable rooftop. A cool thing I noticed on the Jeanneau earlier and now this Beneteau is the roller cars that they use for the retractable roof. They could use just about any old slide to make that roof go back and forth. It doesn't even need to be ball bearing, but what they seem to be using are Lumar sail track cars like you'd find on the mainsail and mast. Proper ball bearing cars designed to glide effortlessly on a track and last for a very long time. I thought that was a pretty cool thing that they use those. Forward in the cockpit, we get benches down both sides with an L shape and telescopic tables that can drop to become sunbeds or connect the tables together to create an outdoor dining area for half the anchorage to come over and enjoy a meal with you. All sail control lines are led back to the helms under covers to keep things tidy, and the winches are inboard next to the helms, leaving a very large walkway on either side of the boat. Beneteau prides itself on excellent maneuverability around this boat, and they rightly should. But of note, while Jeanneau uses a sloping ramp all the way to the front, this Benny uses a step system with a step right in front of the helms and then another step forward up. Headed up as we pass the glass arch system with the high bulwark outboard of the walkway and past the coach top sunbathing chairs that can face aft or forward and would normally be under a Dodger, but this boat's not fitted with one. There are different mast options for this boat as well. Standard sports a bridge clearance just over 75 feet, but there's also a tall rig. And while this boat has in-mast furling, you can option in a slab reefing main instead. We pass the outboard chain plates that we like to see bolted onto the side of the hull, and then the inboard jib tracks for the slightly more than 100% head sail, but also note the self-tacking track forward of the mast for use when climbing upwind. Yacht World did a test sail with this boat and found the new hull design to be so efficient that in just 5 to 6 knots of headwind, they managed an upwind boat speed of 5 to 6 knots. Then in 12 knots of headwind at 45 degrees, They managed 8.3 knots of boat speed. Pretty impressive numbers. Sail area displacement is 19.95, which is a hair from the high performance class, and the capsize screening is a low 1.9, placing it well into the ocean sailing category. Forward, we find something from the past, a bowsprit integrated into the boat, genuinely extending its LOA. The sprit features an anchor roller and provisions for a light air sail. A code is available from the factory, and just after the anchor locker is the propane locker on this boat. Propane up in the bow. It seems weird. I wonder what led to that decision. Perhaps they ran out of room at the back because of the tender garage. Aft of that is a large sail locker or a small crew quarters. Beneteau said they figure about 20% of these boats will be used with a paid crew. So the crew quarters was good to include, although it is pretty small down there. As we work our way back admiring the massive expanse of space, we should talk about money. While the price is hard to nail down because the option list is so extensive on this boat, we did find some for sale. One in Charleston for $2 million and another in France for $2.2 million. For all intents and purposes, this is a $2 million monohull. Headed down the inside, this 60-footer comes in two layouts, the 3 cabin and the 4. This boat's the 3. Down the wide companionway, we find a massive open space with living area immediately and nav station to starboard. A proper desk with a swivel chair so you can have a place to chart or plan your trip or work as part of the main living area. The telescopic table converts down into a large bed, and of course a TV pops up out of the cabinetry, as it should on a boat of this price. The sole is made of a great many pieces of wood, so we worry that it might creak or groan over time, or while you're out sailing, but underfoot right now, it was fine. Aft starboard is a private cabin with a washing machine built in and lots of storage space. We did an episode on these washing machines that is worth watching. We stopped to pet the random wood panel on the wall here and spy in the cubbyhole in the nav desk, admiring that every flat surface here is fiddled, so we should always have something to hang on to while navigating this boat at sea. The galley of this boat is kind of unique and not sort of aft where you'd expect it to be. It's forward and it runs the full width beam of the boat, but it's also narrow, so cooking in here at sea you should be well supported and boxed in, which is a treat that we usually only find on big ocean boats like the Amels. Nice to see, and it's a very secure feeling. Forward is the master stateroom, full beam and with its own ensuite head, cabinetry all the way around, and usually a big TV mounted on that forward bulkhead. This feels a lot like a luxury hotel room. Very nice. This is a good private space for the owners with loads of storage and a very nice bed. This boat sports a water maker from the factory, but it also carries 227 gallons of fresh water on its own and 132 gallons of diesel, paired with the standard 150 horse Yanmar that's shaft driven. A monumental power plant, but again, this boat is near as makes no difference 50,000 pounds. As the flagship for the biggest sailboat maker in the world, this boat seems like it might have been an exercise in what's possible today, but it sails so well in all the tests that it actually also makes sense as one heck of a sailboat for anyone looking to spend $2 million on a world cruising boat and then the expense of actually owning this thing. For me, it was just nice to get on board and see what the folks over at Beneteau are up to when the gloves come off, when they're allowed to make a boat as big and as nice as they want to. This thing is very impressive, and maybe we'll see them out in the charter fleets. But if this Beneteau wasn't your flavor, you might like a different flagship from someone with a bit different take on sailboats, the folks over at Island Packet. Over on the Practical Sailor website, we just published an article on the Island Packet 440, a monumental world traveler that's definitely worth some further investigation. It's a great read. You should definitely check it out. I'll leave a link in the description. What did you guys think of Benny's new flagship? I can't afford one, but it sure is fun to tour things like that. What a cool boat. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button if you want to see more, and hit subscribe so I can see you next time.